All right, so we'll move on. This kind of actually plays into the second topic I wanted to talk about tonight. So the chapter of your book is called Sticking Your Head in the Sand and Ignoring the Process. Tell us a little bit about this phenomenon that men seem to get involved with.
There's this certain percentage of guys who either shut down, and I can understand that. It can be depressing. It can be a shock to the system. You can, kind of be stunned, especially if you didn't see it coming. I kind of get that. Or they'll treat it like it's a joke, like she's not really serious. She'll come around eventually. This is just another one of her, quote unquote episodes. She did it to scare me because she wants me to start acting differently. But they, and I don't know whether they do that because they believe it or just because they can't accept it, but they will, acknowledge that it's going on, but they won't really participate. They won't get an attorney. They won't file any paperwork with the court that lets the court know they're going to represent themselves. They just kind of slow walk everything and treat it like it's not actually moving forward. And that's very often fatal to their case.
Yeah, see that a lot out here in California. You have 30 days to respond once the other party files. The number of men I talk to that it's been 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and still haven't even filed a response yet. Yep. So I'm sure we have some men watching tonight that are going through that, the debate in their head, whether they should file or not. What do you tell clients in terms of either initiating the filing or being aggressive and proactive in responding?
Well, number one, this isn't the Wild West. This isn't the 1870s. You don't have to agree in order for them to divorce you. Illinois is a very similar statute to California in that, if you don't respond 30 days after you've been served, they can theoretically file a motion for default and ask the court to let them proceed without you, which is usually granted. So even if you're unsure about what you want to do, even if you have questions and doubts about how to approach this divorce or how you want to handle it, at a minimum, file your appearance or file an answer with the court. So that's going to do three things. It's going to prevent the court from just letting her do whatever she wants and proceed without you. Number two, it's going to make the court aware that, hey, there is somebody else involved in this and they are paying attention. So the court's going to pump the brakes a little bit. And number three, it's also going to send a message to your spouse that, surprise, this is going to be something she's going to have to negotiate with and deal with. And she's not just going to steamroll you like she might have been doing during the relationship.
Yeah, definitely. That's the single most common mistake I see. I don't know if I don't see very often men come in and I'm like, okay, you came in at the right time. It always seems to be 3 months too late, 6 months too late, and we got to dig out of a hole now rather than handling it right away. So another piece along those lines is there's this debate around filing first or running to the court as soon as you think. What's your opinion on that, and what advice would you give to men around that?
About 10 or 15 years ago, that was a real strategy because certain counties, certain districts had the reputation of being more friendly to women than others. So you would have your wife move out and she would go rent an apartment, maybe just outside of the county you lived in this other county. And then after 90 days, once she's established residency, she would file there. So there used to be some strategy involved with where you filed and when you filed. But nowadays, for the most part, there's really no advantage to filing first. You don't get a gold star. The judge doesn't think more highly of you for filing first. What the judges really dislike is people who stall. So if you know this is going to happen, you might as well file. Or if she files and you get served with the papers, immediately take action. Don't sit on it for 3 weeks. Don't go down to the bar and commiserate with your buddies about this awful thing that's happening to you. call some attorneys, take some free consults, go, it's really a buyer's market. There are a lot of attorneys out there, as I'm sure you will agree with, but there's a wisdom in a multitude of counsel. Go do 3 or 4 consults, get different attorneys' opinions and ideas about your case. Don't just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, that's absolutely the worst thing you can do. It's not going anywhere. You don't have a choice whether you want to participate or not. I tell guys, if she sits you down at the kitchen table or she mentions in passing that she wants to get a divorce or she's going to kick you out, the next morning you should be in at least one lawyer's office having a conversation about your situation. Because if we get out in front of it, there's no hole to dig out of.
That's true. One of the first lawyers I ever clerked for had a great saying. He said, when somebody shows you who they really are, believe them.
Yeah, 100%.